Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. James Smith Jr., and welcome to the Dr. James Show. I know I say it every week that I'm excited for our guests. I'm excited for you to meet our guests, and this is no different today. I'm used to interviewing people, interviewing experts, people who are compelling with their craft and their mission. Today, we definitely have that person, the people leader. I'll just tease it that way. He is the founder, CEO, and president of EDA Contractors. And I wish I met him a long time ago. Ed DeAngelis is an amazing leader. Let's bring him on now. Ed, welcome to the Dr. James Show.
Thank you for that great introduction. I'm humbled by some of your words, and I'm excited to actually speak with you and speak to some of the things I'm very passionate about, and kind of get to know me and kind of how I think. Maybe that'll be good. Maybe that'll be bad. We'll see how it goes.
I trust that it's going to be amazing. Before we dive into the Ed DeAngelis and the EDA Contractor story, we're going to go to our segment called Alumni Love. We love to love on our alumni. This week is featuring Toy Sweeney. So let's watch our brief segment with Toy, and then we'll come back. Toy Sweeney, welcome to Alumni Love. You know, here at the Dr. James Show, we love loving on our alumni. You've been on the show, you did the darn thing. But something tells me you still doing the darn thing. So fill us in. What's been going on in your life?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Well, I have had the opportunity, thank you, Jesus, to check off one of my big goals this year. And I finally completed my TED Talks.
TED Talk. TED Talk. TT.
Oh my gosh. So I got a chance to do a TEDx a few weeks ago. And if you guys want to check it out, you can just jump over to toysweeney.com. It's there. I'm so excited about that, sharing a little bit of my story. And hopefully, you will find it very inspirational.
That's huge. That's huge, Toy.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. Like, I never thought that it was going to, I was going to be able to do it this year, but it was on my big, hairy, scary, goal chart. And so that is one thing checked off. The second thing that has happened is that I launched an online shop called the Well Dressed Brand Shop. And we are focusing this spring on the psychology of color as we are all working through these very trying times. I launched a graphic t-shirt line that's all about color. And so red tells the world that you are powerful, ambitious, and courageous. And there's like 20, all these different colors that just really promotes us and get us right back into the world, understanding that we have the ability to control our narrative through colors and sway the way other people think about us. So I'm very excited about those two things. And that's just kind of what we've been working on at the Well Dressed Brand.
Toy, you don't slow down 1 minute, dude. Get it in. This is the way Toy does it, right?
Listen, we have to. You got to keep moving forward, regardless of what's happening. You have to keep moving forward. And so that's what we're doing. So the next thing that I'm working on is just finishing up my book proposal. And we are just hoping and praying that we get a book deal by the end of the year. So we got a couple months to get this last goal completed. 7 more months of intentional purpose. Let's go.
I love it. We love you. We love the work you do. You're making a difference. Toy Sweeney, continue to do you. Take care.
Thank you.
You got to keep moving forward. Toy doesn't slow down, and Ed DeAngelis doesn't slow down either. Ed, I've done my research. I've talked to folks, but I want to hear from you. Who is Ed DeAngelis? How would you describe you?
I think I'm a regular guy. I really do. I grew up in a row home in Philadelphia, middle-class family. I think I'm I don't think I'm overly bright. I think I'm intuitive. I think I like to learn about people. I like to learn about things, and I'm passionate and very hardworking and caring about what I want. So, to put it in a nutshell, if I want something, if I care about it, I'm an addict. I will go at it, and then I won't finish it until I've really chewed it up. So, and I think I'm a loving person. I think I'm someone who can care about people. I think I have a good empathy towards the human race and the fortune that I've been given to be where I'm at today.
With that said, you're wired differently. I mean, you get it, and I wrote a book called The No Excuse Guide to Success, and something tells me you live by that. When did this start? Was there a turning point, a tipping point? I mean, did someone take you under their wing and say, listen, son, this is what you need to do? When did this begin?
Look, obviously, we're all a product of our youth and how we grew up. And so I have to say there's something inside me that my parents gave me that provided me something that kind of extended beyond what my original thought was. My original thought was, look, I want to be successful. I started EDA in 1999. And, it was something that I was passionate about, to make money. I wanted to make money. That's all I was focused on. I had to survive. You heard the stories that every business fails within the first 5 years, or not every, a lot of businesses. So you're just uber focused on surviving and making things work. But then I would say about 10 years ago, something inside me just said, this isn't enough. Money isn't going to be what's going to make me the happiest. And I decided to really dive into reading and researching how to provide a different experience at my company, and really dive into just more about the human beings, and if we could do it successfully and at the same time treat people in a way that would be unique and different than what is read in every economics book that I read in college and things like that. It was something more that we could do. So 10 years ago is when I really, really started diving into it.
Ed, you've gone from a paper boy, which I was one too when I was younger, paper boy, to running a $90+ million organization. And 10 years ago, you decided that for us to go beyond the next level, because I don't believe in the next level, that's indicating that you're stopping. To go beyond the next level, you decided that you were going to begin to disrupt your industry, roofing, macho men, roofing, and introduce more of a culture change, the people side of leadership, emotional intelligence. Talk to us about that.
That was the thing that I was probably the most concerned about. Was at one point, it was like, well, okay, I want to make this shift. And everyone would say, well, you're in a male dominated, macho, tough guy type business. How are you going to get roofers to buy into this? And I must tell you that human beings are human beings. And when you introduce something to them and you prove to them and you show them that you're passionate about it and you care about it and you're doing it for the right reasons, you're not trying to trick them. It takes a little bit. That culture and being this way, thinking about yourself, be self-aware of who you are, understand your triggers and understand your emotional intelligence, and not as a way to be soft, as a way to be stronger, to be tough, to be powerful, because you're not letting your emotions take over. You're going to be more thoughtful. You're going to be more, purposeful when you are making decisions. It did disrupt people. People thought we were going to go out of business. People thought we were crazy. But I do believe what you said.
I was going to ask you that. How challenging was it? Was it mandatory? You had to go to the training? Was it volunteer? What types of hurdles did you have to clear to get people to buy into your vision?
So I believe that the way you have to be able to buy into a vision is you have to feel it from the individual. And my job at the top is to make sure that they know that this is not a flavor of the month. This is something that I care about so deeply that it's going to be something that I could speak with you and talk to you and just prove to you that my whole goal here is to help you. I believe myself, I look at myself as a servant leader. My job is to make you better. So it was hard. I don't want to be this touchy-feely. We're going to talk about our feelings. The reality of it is most of us need to talk, especially men. And that's why I think I am very focused on men. Men don't want to go to a place where they have to think about their feelings, but all their decisions as they move forward depend on them. So we build buildings. We have danger around us all day long. We could create danger. So to have someone a little more emotionally intelligent, a little more stable, I believe that we're going to get we're going to give a better product. Society gets a better product. And overall, I hope that the individuals that work for us can say that I also feel like my life has gotten a little bit better, just a little bit better because of some of the things we're teaching.
Talk about how this has impacted the business, how it's impacted the culture, the workplace, your family workplace. Was based on everything I've read and saw, listened to. You basically have a family there.
100%. The thing that you want to have, it's impacted me. I think I'm a better father. I'm a better husband. I'm a better person because of the teaching and things. And when I don't have to pretend to do it one way at home and one way at work, my life becomes much easier and simpler. I can be the same person here and the same person home. I want everybody to come to work here, that you can be you here and at home. And if we teach you those things, we also believe you'll be much more powerful. And then you will feel the community that you will get within a company. Everything at work doesn't have to be just some zero-sum game. It can be a good experience. It doesn't mean that we don't, we have to make profits. We sometimes have to, discipline people, or we have to let people go. These things happen, but you can do it in a humane, kind way, and people feel it. And they may not love when you make decisions that are tough, but they know if you're doing it for the right reasons, that they feel like it's okay. It's part of life.
Ed, talk to us a little bit about the pictures we're showing. It looks like your family, your work family.
Yes. So we had culture meetings where we would teach people the culture, because it was hard. These are 80 to 90% of them are field. And this is the first introduction to someone asking them as human beings, like, how do you feel? What's bothering you? What makes you tick? Why do you go off? Why are you angry? And it gave us opportunities just to speak to it, and each person gets to come. So they are 100% my second family. And I think it's easier that way, to have them like that.
I see their faces, signs saying, I love this place. I live the EDA way. I care. This is my EDA family. Tell me about the EDA way.
So, one of the difficult things
is components or the ingredients of the EDA way.
Right. So we have values that, I had a small team get together 10 years ago, and the executive team, and we spent 9 months coming up with our values. The EDA way is a way to kind of encompass our mission, our vision, our core values, our behaviors that are important to us, and put it all under one envelope. And we kind of put it in a house, and it allows everybody to kind of have a common set of ideals that they can kind of look at. And I myself use it as a guide for my everyday, life, just to say, am I, living proactively? Am I being passionate? Am I exceeding expectations? Am I smiling, laughing, enjoying life? Am I really making a difference in people's lives that extends beyond just the work? It extends to their family and to their home. So I think it's just the EDA way is just it's a singular kind of way for people to say, is this the EDA way, what we're doing right now?
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna go to the chat room, because we do have questions, and I encourage you to send your questions, your comments. The question I'm seeing right now says, Ed, what challenges did you face getting people to buy into your vision, emotional intelligence? It ties into, we touched on that a little bit, but were there any additional challenges with getting people to buy into your vision?
Anything you want to do in life that you care about, that is going to be hard, which you have to take time, and it is difficult. People don't really want to deal with their emotions, but their emotions really truly make them great or make them, have poor times. Meaning when they're in the wrong state of mind, we don't make decisions in life that are great if we let our amygdala, which we learned about, if we let our amygdala, which is the front lobe of your brain, if all your decisions are made on that, that's only there to protect you from extreme danger. But a lot of us live in the extreme danger for some reason, when reality is 99.9% of our day lives in an area where you just got to breathe, think about what something said, and then make your decision to move forward. And that's what I'm talking about. Could be putting a roof on, putting a panel on, doing masonry, being a project manager, being an estimator, being a husband, being a wife, being a boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be everything. How we handle that. So the struggle was to let people understand that this is not about you just trying to do something here. It's about you thinking about your life and how do you move it forward. And it is a battle, especially with men. We are the worst. We have concrete for brains at times. We don't want to listen. I am the kind of person, back when there was no GPS, and my wife would say, "You know where you're going?" I'd say, "I know where I'm going." And I would be lost for hours. So I get it. I am one of those people. So it is difficult, and it is a struggle, and you have to invest your money, your time, and your effort to want it. And you have to stick with it, because it's not easy and it takes a little bit, but it definitely, I can tell you, the payoff outweighs by 10,000. By 10,000.
And you said before the GPS, you would be lost for hours.
Yes.
There's a lot of companies out there that have been lost for decades as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion. You're not. It's in your blood, it's in your mission, it's in the culture. How have you been able to get people on board, to keep people fired up about creating an inclusive workplace where everyone feels a part, and a workplace where white men don't feel as though they're losing something or it's not about us anymore?
Yeah, I mean, look, societally, that's a difficult thing to grapple with. It's a commitment that I believe is part of the EDA way, that the only way we can really be successful is together. Our tagline is successful together. And that's just not a tagline. I truly believe that the only way we can be the most powerful company, let's just use EDA, is to have a diverse group of people who have different thoughts, who have different greatness in them. And if you exclude any person, whether it's a woman, a man, transgender, gay, straight, black, white, it doesn't matter. If you exclude any, you are missing some greatness in you. And the only way to be great is to be complete. And the only way to be complete is to include all types in your organization. Now, some people may not be good at one thing, but you have all kinds of different roles in your organization that you can provide. And one of the things that gives me passion to keep moving forward is to keep giving opportunity for as many people as I can to show them the EDA, because the EDA way doesn't have a color, doesn't have a sexual orientation. It's about us. It's about people. And the way we're going to be successful as a company, the way we're going to make money is together. I can't do it. We have to do it. It is truly the only way you can be successful in a powerful way, where you can build a foundation. And I can tell you, it's difficult at times to convince people that we're not trying to take something away from you because we hired this woman instead of a man, or we hired this man instead of a woman. No, we are looking to make ourselves diverse so we can create greatness out of it. We don't want all groupthink. We only want groupthink when it comes to goodness. We want groupthink when it comes to caring.
So good. And I want you to imagine right now, you are in a social distance conference room with a bunch of leaders who are saying, Ed, man, this diversity stuff is a waste of time. We have to focus on results. You know, this is an HR thing. I mean, here we go again. Can we just get down to our results and get things done? What would you say to them in addition to what you already offered?
I feel the same way. We have to get results. I agree. But, are you looking for immediate results today, or do you want to have results over time, long periods of time? And if you do, if you want to have something that wants to continue, you must create a group that can be accepted within the entire, because you don't know where your industry is going. You don't know where the world is going. You don't know any of that. But what we do know is, as America, the country that is so great, it's because it's diverse. It's not because it's one way. So I would say to them, yes, you can still do. I want to make money. I want to be profitable. I want to be successful. But you must open your eyes and, yes, make a little more effort. That's the thing. It's going to take more work for you to create a diverse. But you know what? As a CEO of your company, you must do it. It is your job. It is what you have to do. It's not, you don't get to choose it. You chose to be a CEO. You chose to be it. That means your role is you must do what is good for this organization today, tomorrow, and into the future. You must be that type of leader. And that is the only way. And it's not HR's job. It is 100% CEO's obligation to provide that type of leadership, in my mind, from it.
Love the fire, love the passion, because I believe that passion, PASSION, means pass I on, and you are certainly passing you on during this interview as well as at EDA. Does your belief and mindset play a role in the whole EDA cares model and mission?
Yeah, so again, EDA cares is about really appreciating where we are and appreciating the plight of other people and really giving back and really feeling, I do it for selfish reasons, really selfish, because what I get back is so extraordinary when I give that I want to get more of it. So I'm selfish. I want to have more opportunities. And I believe the people, human beings in general, and EDA is just a small microcosm of, let's say, America. They love giving back. I have so many field people, so many office people who volunteer their time to go help some people who just need someone, a stranger, to just say, I care about you, not because I know you. I care about you because I see that you're struggling. And you're lucky. I'd like to help you. And you say, well, how does that tie into the EDA? Well, the EDA way, that is the EDA way. We are here to make money, but we're also here to give. We're also here to take. It's part of the whole experience. And I would much rather stand next to 10 people who want to help someone out who needs help than 10 people who really only care about themselves. So when you talk about a community, that's the kind of community you want to have. And that's when you're in the foxhole, when you have issues, you rally with each other to get this project done, to get through the problems, because the person next to you deep down is a good person that wants to get through it with you, and that's how you get through it.
And we know you do a lot of charitable work, as you just said. We have some pictures we want to feature, and if you can tell us what's going on here.
So this is a Make-A-Wish. So I partnered with Make-A-Wish probably about 10, 11 years ago, maybe even 12. And we said, look, we want to do more than just give you money. I said, look, the only way I'm going to give you money is I got to get my company included and my family included. And this was this family was going to Hawaii. So we hosted a send-off party for the family. This family actually had 11 or 12 children. And so this was and it was just a great opportunity for us to all get together again as a company and do something for a group of individuals who don't know us, but know that we just care. So it's a great opportunity.
You guys love hard. I like what I read, that you love making money, you love giving it away. And this picture right here speaks to another of what appears to be a charitable event.
Yeah, this was a leadership training, and at part of the leadership training was we would build bikes for kids who, and this is when you start to speak to these children. These are from lower income areas. They've never had a bike. They've never, and the men who built these bikes, the tear in their eyes when they were giving these little kids the bike.
Wow.
It was priceless. I mean, these construction, tatted up, tough guys
Yes.
were like melting when this kid said, "This is my first, no one's ever given, I've never had a new bike before." Now, we take bikes for granted. These kids really, so it was just a great experience.
It sounds like EDA is all about creating great experiences, not just on the roof. How about this one right here?
So this is an organization that I'm very, passionate about, Turning Points for Children, which is, this is a situation where we, at the end of the year, go and give gifts, Christmas gifts. We used to go and wrap small Christmas gifts, and these are children that are at this bridge where they're gonna, they've gotten in trouble. There's some issues, things are, happening in their neighborhood, and they're really gonna get out into they're gonna be 18. We go down there and we buy gifts for, 50 or 60, we provide them lunch, and then we speak to them. And again, it goes to, I must tell you, Dr. James, that when you give a gift to a child who has never had anything, and we used to go down there, and the men and the boys, even the girls, were kind of like, you would give them a gift, they'd be like, "Thanks," and they were too tough. And I had to talk to some of the counselors, and the counselors were like, "Look, you don't understand. They have to live here, so that sometimes they don't want to be open because they think they got to be hard." But every once in a while, you get a person that says, "Look, I really can't believe that you would come down here and give me a gift at Christmas." Now, it's just me. This is just me. All these people get to experience. Thank you. And it just makes you feel like, wow, a small $50 gift to this child who's 17, but looks tough, but realistically is a child. Maybe that'll make them feel better, and maybe, who knows, maybe they'll go along and feel a little better, and they'll do more. And you know what? And maybe they'll come work for me one day, and maybe they'll make construction better, and maybe, who knows, why not? And I got my family involved, because I think that's important for my family to, my wife is there, my daughter is there, my two sons were at the meeting.
I love it. I believe we have a picture of your family. I think we'll show that right now.
Absolutely.
Give us 1 second. Looking forward to showing that. While we're getting that ready, there's a question in the chat room. There we are. There we are.
Yes.
Beautiful family.
Yes, thank you. This was Turning Points, was nice enough to make me Man of the Year for their organization, and my family was there. So yeah, look, for me, life doesn't really have that much benefit if you don't have some sort of family unit and support. And I wouldn't be where I am without that type of support. And that's why we do have a wall, where we try to get everybody at EDA to field in office to give us pictures of what it means to them, because I truly believe we are all part of that family unit, whether it's, a field worker's significant other, children, aunt, uncle, whatever you want to put on there, we let you do, because we want you to feel connected in some way.
And all this plays a role in EDA 3 years in a row, best place to work. And in 2021, not just in Philadelphia, national best place, one of the best places to work. That must make you feel phenomenal.
It does. I'm very proud about any kind of awards and rewards that we get. But I must tell you, and this is the part that I get a reward every day when someone is just happy to be here, or just happy on what we're doing. And this is the journey for me, is the best part. The rewards are a nice part of it, but the journey has been so rewarding that I wouldn't expect, anything from anyone if they never gave me any award. Or I know the reward is I get to speak to these people's families, and they get to say, I really enjoy working here, and I love how we care about each other, and things of that sort, and then we just become, and we can be successful together. So it's a good thing. But yes, we have been.
Tells me you don't have a problem with recruiting.
No, No. I mean, honestly, I mean, that's one of the benefits to another CEO who wants to listen. Look, if you want good people, if you want people who have the type of mind that you want to have, you want to get the right people. Once they feel this, they know they're either going to get on board with it or they're going to get out. And that's just as important. So recruiting is one thing, and then recruiting the right people, because then the culture helps the people who don't get it. They get kind of pushed out because they don't fit into, what you are trying to believe in moving forward. So no, we have a lot of people who want to come work here. We have a lot of great people here. A lot of people don't want to leave. So I think it's a good thing for us.
I always say when you have a wonderful place to work, you don't even need recruiters because your team members will do the recruiting for you. All you need is interviewers, because the recruiting will take care of itself. And if you have a diverse team, you will have diverse recruiters doing it for you.
Which is one of the things, Dr. James, just say on that for 1 second.
Yeah.
That's the other stupidity of not doing diversity. You are limiting the talent pool. Why should I limit my talent pool? I should expand my talent pool.
Yeah.
I get more talent with more people than just sticking to a certain type of, individual, again, whatever it may be. It really, and the industry I'm in, which is predominantly white male, it needs to change. And the only way for us to get to the next level is to accept the fact that as a industry, we have to see that as an opportunity.
Yeah. It's an opportunity, but it's turned into a blind spot for many. And I'm gonna go to the chat room. There's some thoughts and comments. There's a question. First question is, how do you separate yourself from your competitors? What goes into your thinking, your strategy, your plans each year? How do you separate yourself? How does EDA separate itself from its competition?
I mean, again, it sounds so simple. Look, we supply commodity items for the most part. A lot of people do what we do. The difference is we like to take on a little more risk. So what we try to do is we have something called the EDA envelope, where when we do a project, we like to do the entire exterior of a building, and we'll warrant it for a period of time. And it takes on more risk. And my general counsel would say, oh my God, I don't want any more risk. But the reason we want risk is if you have the right people, if you have the people who you are willing to take risk when you have the right people. Think about sports, think about a lot of things. When you have the right team, you're willing to take a risk. And that's why that strategy from a competitive standpoint can't be effective or successful if the people on the site, the people in the field, the people in the office, the people all together don't believe that this is good for all of us. So let's do this and let's make sure that we care for it a little bit more, which gives us a competitive advantage. I mean, it 100% does.
This is good. There's a comment in the chat room. It says, that sounds like EDA culture encourages people to discover their identity and operate from their truth within the community. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and again, think about it. If you're in your community and you believe that this is a good place, you're going to speak to it in a positive way, and the organic growth of positivity. And I can be the person, look, 5 years ago, we were probably doing 40, 50 million. Now we're doing 90. The proof is in the pudding. I can sit here and tell you that this isn't just a fantasy. This is a reality of, if you commit to it, you can have success. But remember, you must have 100% commitment, because people will be trying to push you down. When you're a disruptor, and you said that, Dr. James, in the beginning, remember, everyone's going to hate what you're doing because you're disrupting, and people want to feel like everybody's doing the exact same. It feels comfortable when everyone, they're going to think that you're doing something and they don't like it. So you have to be prepared to have some, bulletproof vests on when they take shots at you. But the reality of it is, if you believe in it, I can sit here and tell you how it works. Forget. I'm talking about profits. I'm talking about growth, and I'm talking about just the experience of coming to work and feeling like You're all doing something for a purpose that goes beyond just money. Money, if your only purpose in life is just money, you're going to have a hollow existence.
Sure.
Because you can never chase, you can never get enough. It becomes too powerful.
I love your use of the word commitment. I oftentimes say when I'm speaking in life, you're either interested or committed. And if you're interested, you're going to talk about it. You're going to think about it. It's going to be one day, someday, eventually we'll see. But when you're committed, it's going to get done. It's going to get done now. It's going to get done now. And it sounds like that's what's happening there. Another comment in the chat room says, successful together. What a wonderful tagline. Mm-hmm.
Well, and look, the reality of it is when you have a tagline, it can become an opportunity for people to shoot holes in it. So you truly have to be, and I'm going to use your words because you use mine, you have to be committed to it. You must be committed to it. So successful together is a great tagline, and it's so important. And if you think like that, is this make us successful together? Sometimes tough decisions in business have to be made that are in the best interest of all of us, successful together. That is how you have to think of it. So it really does. And if you believe it, it really does work. It's so simple, but it's two simple words that everybody knows. I mean, again, you don't have to be this Harvard educated genius to be successful in this country. You can just be passionate, committed to what your views are, innovative, forward thinking, growth mindset. Always believe that you have to grow constantly to keep moving forward.
And I saw your giving firsthand because when I was working on my dissertation, I needed to do some studying, some research, and the members of your team participated in my research on authenticity. And I was like, wow, they made time. They made time for me. They love to give. So I thank you for that too.
We made time because someone, again, successful, that someone said to us, and Tim Killian said, I have this friend and he needs our help. Okay, he's your friend, we can help. And you know what? You never know in life when you say, hey, Dr. James, I need help. Can you help me? That's how life goes. It just happens that that's how it's just a circle. It just kind of works that way. And if you believe in it, it's easy.
I love it. And I'm going to put you in the hot seat right now. We have a segment on, I guess you're thinking I'm on a hot seat every day. We have a segment called the hot seat. And what it is, I'm going to give you a word. And actually, I'm going to give you a number of words. And once you hear the word, I'd like for you to share the first word or thought that comes to mind about that word. Don't want you to think long. Don't want you at all. We don't want you to edit. You get the word. What comes to your mind?
No problem.
You ready?
Yep.
First word. Family.
Everything. Love. It means
Diversity.
Everything.
Diversity.
I need to work on it more.
Leadership.
Give to others.
Commitment.
Passion.
EDA.
Family.
Change.
Inviting.
Fear.
Natural.
Pandemic.
Tough.
Growth.
Opportunity.
Emotional intelligence.
Strength.
Ed DeAngelis, you are off the hot seat.
All right.
All right. Now, I put you on the hot seat a little bit earlier while we were in the green room. I said that painting behind you,
Yes.
I'm liking it. I wouldn't mind borrowing it. And you said, no way. Tell us about that painting and why does its significance, and why does it mean so much to you?
It means a lot to me because it's really construction workers back in the 30s and 40s. And my grandfather came from Ireland, as a 11-year-old boy, lived in an orphanage, worked in construction. And that's all that pictures of the immigrants that built this country. And in today's day and age, we need to recognize that the greatness, we don't know where it's at. And what that picture tells me is, you know what, we didn't get here without somebody else sacrificing something to help get us here. And those are people up on a beam back then where reality is they aren't even safe. I mean, they're like, and we put a lot of these immigrants in danger, and they were willing to do it because they were the type of servant leaders. They wanted to give their family, their next generation, their life. None of those guys on that beam's lives were that great, but they gave other people the opportunity, like myself, to be, and then it's my obligation, it's my responsibility to remember that and to help move it forward. So that painting for me, because it's in my industry, construction, it means a lot to me about diversity, because again, they were the white, Irish, Polish, Italian, but they were not welcomed here. And I love the fact that they were a big part of building this. And that's, it just kind of encompasses what I believe in my heart. So yes, you can't borrow it.
In building that, building the culture you've built, the EDA way, the EDA cares, what bothers you? What is a non-negotiable if you saw that happen at work or heard someone say it? What gets under your skin for a short period of time? I'm sure you rectify it. What bothers you?
I think an arrogance or an entitlement to me really gets, I really get fired up when someone says, we deserve this, I deserve this. And you know what? No, the only thing we deserve in life is love and goodness. That's the only thing we really deserve. Other than that, we all have to work hard to get where we want. We have to be committed to whatever we love, and to be entitled that you think you deserve something because of who you are is so difficult for me to understand. And it's hard. And I learned so much more from the people who have nothing. They are so much more powerful because they don't expect anything. So they're just so much healthier. And they're the people I love to help because they don't have that, and it's in a great way. And it bothers me that we too much, and I've done it as a young man, like, why did I get not this? Or why wasn't I entitled to this? Or, and you got to get rid of that, because it really stops you from being the best you if you, because it's really just a barrier. So it annoys me when people are arrogant about, where they feel they should sit and they're entitled to this. No one's entitled to, you're not entitled to poverty. You're not entitled to live in this country. You're not entitled to not have a disease. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
Speaking of not working that way, 2020 threw off the curveball called the pandemic. You have folks that are on roofs, you're building, I imagine, and you have folks in the corporate office. How did the pandemic impact your 2020, and what changes did you make, and what changes are you continuing to make right now?
I mean, look, back in March when it really, hit the fan, the pandemic, we had to have an executive team, had to have a tremendous amount of meetings to discuss, because you had to think about the EDA way, how we're going to care for our people. There's a lot of fear out there. So how do we do this? At the same time, we have to survive as a business. So, to be honest, it gave us a great opportunity to really kind of reinforce and confirm to the individuals at EDA that the EDA way is how we're going to guide ourselves as we move forward, even in this pandemic. And there's going to be some tough decisions. But if we do it out of care and we think about people as human beings and think about our business, it gives us an opportunity to reinforce what we believe in. It also has allowed us to really, I think, understand that there is going to be a way to work remotely that is going to be able to move us forward. We were able to sustain our business with a lot of remote work. I don't believe overall that people should be at home all the time, because I believe in community. I believe in the value of speaking to people and being together. So I think there's a balance. I was an old school person who definitely wouldn't think that in the past. And I think it's educated. And I think all the industries are learning that we can adapt to this new way of doing things. And maybe we can just keep moving that into the future and take an opportunity for something terrible and make something out of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And there's a question here, I believe it's from someone in your organization. It ties into diversity and strategic thinking. It says, for Ed, what opportunities or training is available for Black men who may want to start learning the skill of carpentry?
So,
What do you
yes,
think?
so we have a foreman, Cody Nixon, who came to me and said, I would like, and he's a Black man. And he said, look, I'd like to do something to help people in my community. So we started a program called Reboot. And
I was going to ask you about that. The reboot. Talk to me.
so Reboot is an outreach program to help people in the minority community come into the Carpenters Union, or any union for that matter, but just introduce them to the things that you have to deal with, and then give them tutelage, give them advice, help them, teach them some math, give them some emotional intelligence, let them have a community of individuals, because you are, we need more. So there's not enough out there to be your mentors, and be mentors to these individuals. And it's an effort. And that's where I'm saying, when diversity, you have to have a strategic plan. And that's what we want to have. We want to have a strategic plan to get into these communities, speak to people, and then it'll grow grassroots. But we don't mind being a starter. Let's get them in, care for them, monitor them, hold them accountable, talk to them. If they have problems, whatever are within what they're dealing with, we can help them through it, instead of just throwing them into the fire and letting them try to make it, when the reality of it is they're swimming in a pond that they never, they're a duck that's never been in that pond. And we're just there to help them. And this program I'm passionate about it. The person whose brainchild it was, Cody Nixon, he's volunteering all his time to help it. It's a great opportunity, and we try to encourage as many people as we can, and then we want to go back and have these same individuals go back into the community and show the community that the skills that you get in the Carpenters Union you can use to help each other, and then that just gets it. And that's how most things happen. That your father or uncle or someone did some work and you saw them do it, you got intrigued with it, and then you become, but if you've never seen anyone in your community doing that type of thing, well, then you just don't have any experience to it. You're not exposed to it. That's all it is. This program is simple. It's very simple.
Continuing to be disruptive. I believe that we've made diversity, equity, and inclusion hard, and it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's
Have you
not.
guys talked about programs dedicated to women carpentry or women roofing?
So we obviously have we're wide open for women to come into the industry. I think that is going to be something that we promote the ones that we have. We don't have enough. I think that'll be another growth place that we could do more. I think that'll be something that we have to encourage as we keep moving forward. It's exciting that could be another place where, again, think about it. We lose the whole group of women. We don't have enough. And you can't tell me there's nothing that we do in work, whether it's masonry, roofing, carpentry, panels, that women can't do. They can do it. We're not, not everybody's Arnold Schwarzenegger in construction. So, it's not like that. So there's a lot of skills, and I see it all over the place. But yeah, we need to do a better job of that. Would be the next place that I could see that we could continue to keep introducing it, because we do have some and they're awesome. They just give it different. Again, the diversity provides a different type of greatness all the time, and women are built a little differently. So that means their brain's going to operate differently, which can make us better, because they're going to see all the blind spots that we have as,
Sure.
The way we may think. Women provide an opportunity to fix some of that. As much as if it was just men in an all-woman industry, you want to have, nurses, for example. I think they love having male nurses sometimes because it's mostly women. So it just gives a different perspective. So I think it's a reality.
And a question I should have asked you at the outset, take us back to the evolution of EDA contractors and what went into the acronym EDA. I think I know, but you're the expert. So take us back to the evolution and Question in the chat room asked, what does EDA stand for?
So sadly, EDA stands for my name, Ed DeAngelis.
Sadly, I'm Dr. James Smith Jr. That's my company.
Sadly, it's not. Again, here we go. Simple guy, didn't really think too hard. Just thought about himself and wanted to have his name in there. So that's where it became. And look, and that's the reality of it is, when I started EDA, I was a different person. And you know what? I don't know if it's a
How
bad.
so? How so?
I really, the person I cared about the most was EDA, me. And I'm not saying I was a mean but sometimes when you are in the foxhole of trying to do something, you just really got to block everything else out. And I was driven to be successful because I felt like it was going to define me, and I wanted that to be the case. And I was probably not the greatest. I mean, I think I was a good husband. I think I was a good father, but I think I could have been. I was just so focused on it. And when you're, I tell this story, and I don't mind telling it. For probably 5 years before I started EDA, when I was working at my previous company, I would dream about doing this all the time. Well, I would say once a year, maybe once a year at least, I wake up and go, did I do it? Like I dream, like I'm still back in that. And that's the power of your mind, is when you are putting your mind to something, if you truly put your mind to it, it's amazing how it becomes part of you. And that's what I'm saying. So it became part of my ritual of dreaming. And then when you do it, you get myopic and you just think about that and you have tunnel vision. And it took a while for me to kind of come out of the tunnel vision. So the evolution of EDA, I am part of that. I think I've evolved and have grown in it. And I hope in the next, I hope I live that long, 20, 30 years, I hope to continue to grow as EDA does the same.
You talk about growing. I know you're an avid reader. What types of books do you feed your mind, or what do you do to stay sharp?
Yeah, look, if there's one thing that has made I didn't read, if I read 5 books between 10 and 30, I would be lying to you probably, because I probably did Cliff Notes or something.
I'm going to tell the folks at St. Joseph.
Yes, I want to tell people St. Joseph LaSalle. But since then, I've read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. And the reality of it is they go from, I find, they first started off with business type books, then they became psychology, mindsets, and emotional intelligence. And then it's different people who have done different things, powerful people in war. I just read a book called The Sum of Us, which is about the cost of not having diversity. That meant a lot to me because I wanted to understand what I can do to be better. So books give you a great opportunity. And what happens for me was it led me to other books, and it just kept me in this, I'm like swimming in this, and I got a bunch of books behind me. And there's certain authors that, Adam Grant for me, for Give and Take, that really changed my life, because at one point taking it didn't feel right. But if I can take to give, I live in a nice home. I drive a nice car. So I don't want to act like I'm not Mother Teresa, but I think you can still be happy with who you are and still see the opportunity to give. And now it's wide open for me, because now it doesn't restrict me from saying, look, I grew up in a row home. Reality is I'm doing well. I could just stop. But stopping, I'm not going to stop being me. There's no option. I don't want to stop. The only time I stop is when I'm 6 foot in the ground. I mean, I don't want to stop.
I love it. There's a comment in the chat room says, thanks for your passion and for bringing it back to what matters at work and at home. So passionate, definitely coming through. Someone, if you want to ever change the name of EDA from standing for Ed DeAngelis, it could stand for Equity Diverse Association.
I like it. I like it.
They are loving your contribution. Ed, last part of the show is one of my favorite parts, is the mini, M-I-N-I, the mini keynote. I'm a speaker. I speak virtually and in person. I love running my mouth, as you can see. But I want to give you an opportunity right now, 30 seconds, to look at that camera like you're looking at thousands of people and talk to them about a call to action, what the world needs now, whatever's on your mind. This is your 30-second keynote for you to drop the mic afterwards. Your 30 seconds. Ed DeAngelis.
What I would
Starts
say,
now.
what I would say is, number one, don't let anyone else define who you are. Be who you want to be. And do it with the most commitment and passion and excitement, and enjoy it and love it. And yes, you're going to have hard times, but hard times give you an opportunity to learn. And if you do that and you can be you and be caring and just be pleasant and be positive, and that doesn't mean like walking around, telling jokes. I'm talking about just being happy who you are. And the only way you can be happy who you are is if you do what you really love to do.
I love it. I love it. Ed, thank you immensely for bringing your experience, bringing your thoughts, bringing your models, and how you've made something extremely challenging easy. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Thank you for being such a charitable organization, for giving, for caring, for running an organization that supports each other immeasurably. Thank you for spending time with us today. And now you're part of the Alumni Association, and we'll be giving you some love. Listen, for those of you who are watching, hope you were taking notes. I hope you were taking notes. Ed shared a lot for us to use immediately, not to plan, but to do it now, to take action now. Also, with regard to taking action now, we're doing our boot camp June 3rd and 4th. It's if you want to be a better leader, a better virtual presenter, a better presenter, more personal power, for you to take action now. June 3rd and 4th, please go to our website, and we'll see you next week. Another compelling show. And like I always say, you've just been Gym-Pacted.